So this is a video documentation of the dimensions of the Sawmill Carriage, because I didn't bring a notepad. So these little rails are 1.5 inches by 3/16. The overall length of the whole thing is $199, maybe $200. I'll take the outside and inside dimensions from here. So outside looks to be 34, and the inside looks to be 25. And because of the set works here, the most important piece here for everything else to work out, this seems to need to be 48, just like the other side. The axle is mounted inside of the cross rail here. There's 5 cross rails, 4 axles, no conflict between the axle oiler, and the cross rail. There's no problem with that. The cross rails are mounted approximately 1/2 inch below the side rails, but this here needs to be flush. It would work best. And indeed, the Setworks has a notch here for this piece. So I don't think there's anything else I need to know. I bought this mill out of the Platte River bottoms of northwestern Missouri. Though the shed was about to fall in, the mill sat dormant and protected for about 20 years. The carriage wasn't too bad at the time, but my setup outdoors hastened its demise. Before I shut down the mill for the repair, I solicited my brother's help and felled some cedars. We milled these timbers. Well, why cedar? I have lots available. It's water rot resistant and it's pretty stable. Cut green until it's dry. Guess the downside is it's not all that strong, but the carriage distributes the weight of the saw log to the axles and wheels. This is my first try at this, and it'll be far better than what it replaces. I didn't have to plane the timbers, but on the sawmill they kind of turn out fuzzy, so planing makes a nice surface to measure and mark. I took about 3/64 off each face. I'm going to follow some timber framing techniques to build a carriage. I'm using what is called the square rule. My beams are not to dimension one end to the other, and this is a way around that. One thing nice is my sawmill cuts really square. This really helps, allows more choices when picking a reference face. These tenons aren't that long. They won't be pegged. They'll be held in place with big long through bolts. With green cedar, the grain frays with fine work. It'll split easily working against the grain. I made up this template. It saves some time sizing the tenons. I didn't bother to plane to perfection. I just liked a smoother surface for measuring and marking. Once completed, I routed a roundover on all the sharp edges. Here I'm marking up for the mortises, the mortise pockets, and the axle pockets. I modeled the carriage using Inventor. This is software I have for my business, and I'm somewhat proficient with it. It's really helpful having a set of drawings or sketches to cut from because it really helps minimize mistakes. Here is where I make up for the dimension problems with the beams. All the cross beams are exactly the same length, so each pocket is calculated so that the overall assembly width of the carriage is exactly 34 inches side to side. Now, somehow or other, I don't have footage of the mortising. I can tell you this about that. It came out fine, but the process was clunky. I used a drill auger and a chisel, but I didn't have a good auger, so it was slower and less efficient than I'd like. All the mortises and beam pockets are done, so it's ready to dry fit. I was kind of fumbling around here with the ratchet straps. Finally, I decided the pipe clamp was the way to go. Seems I've made a mistake, but it's not terrible. The recovery was pretty good. All clamped together, the width was off by no more than a 32nd of an inch. And that's a bonus, as it's not that critical to the mill alignment. The beams are relieved to set the axle bearings in place. The bearing flanges are set in a calculated pocket, just like the mortises, so that the axles are exactly in a plane parallel to the top of the assembled carriage. removed an axle and bearing set from the sawmill, so I had it to fit when I built the carriage. Well, it's pretty much done. The only thing left is I have to pre-drill the holes for the axle bearing flanges. I decided to seal it with a mixture of diesel and hydraulic oil. This is cheap and easily renewed anytime I want. We'll see how it works. And there it is. Thanks for watching. Check back. I'll have a video on how I installed it.